Power up your game with the Yonex VCORE 100. Yonex continues to up the game with the new VCORE 100. In the 2023 version, Yonex has redesigned the frame's geometry, both in the shaft and upper hoop, for more stability and power, as well as a slightly lowered beam stiffness for a more forgiving and responsive feel. Additionally, a new technology, SIF Grommets, allow for greater string movement and more spin. The racket still features two named FlexForce Graphite, a 16x19 string pattern, and an 11.3 ounce strung weight. I was introduced to Yonex about 12 years ago when I first tried out the VCORE line, and the VCORE 100S became my racket of choice for a couple of years before I switched to the E-Zone line. And I'm always excited to see what Yonex produces for the next iteration of the VCORE. And for this one, spoiler alert, it did not disappoint. It is actually probably my favorite VCORE and feels like it's the closest to that 100S that I originally used. I've always been a fan of Yonex 100 square inch head sizes, so right off the bat this was extremely easy to use. I had no adjustment period. With my ground strokes, like I expected, I found easy power and easy spin. There's a high launch angle, so I was getting the ball nice and deep in the court. But one of my favorite things was the variety of shots I could hit. I was really utilizing that spin potential. I hit balls deep in the court, kind of more aggressive, and then I'd mix it up and hit some more short angled balls to keep my opponent off balance. This was the same for serves. I loved to bust out a flat first serve, but then I was also accessing a lot of slices and spins on my kickers and to just really keep my opponent on their toes. When it came to returns, I did have to reel it in just a little bit as it was a little bit easy for me to overhit, but that spin potential made it nice and easy to do so, and after about 5-10 minutes, I had no problems being aggressive on my returns. Compared to my E-Zone, I thought this one offers a little bit more power, a little bit more spin, and with the E-Zone, it's just a little bit more control, and I personally prefer the feel of that one just a little bit more. Overall, this is my favorite VCORE 100 since the VCORE 100S.
The first thing I noticed when I picked up this racket was the new head shape. Now, this one it doesn't have that classic isometric Yonex head shape. It feels a little bit wider and fatter toward the tip. Now Yonex claims that they're doing this to increase power and spin, and after play testing it, I tend to agree. I found this racket to have tons of power. I was able to get great access to spin on my shots, and I also tend to hit my shots more toward the tip, so I really liked that there was a little bit more real estate up there, and it was more forgiving and had a nice large sweet spot. I thought this racket was really easy to swing and to just generate racket head speed with. And I would say that probably my one negative with this is that the string spacing is pretty wide, so I found the racket to be a bit launchy at times. If I did miss it, I found that I was missing long most of the time just because of that higher launch angle and plenty of power. I think Yonex is known for making excellent 100 square inch, 300 gram rackets, and this one is no exception.
There have been very few 100 square inch rackets from Yonex that I haven't liked, and this one is no exception. That said, I typically like the E-Zone line a little bit more because I find it more controlled, but I really like this VCORE. It's my favorite to date. I really found easy depth, easy power, and loads of spin. I do typically hit a flatter shot. However, with this VCORE, I was hitting loads of topspin, and I really didn't feel like that I was changing my stroke style at all. I was hitting great cross courts, especially on the backhand side, getting great angles, and hitting them really short and moving my opponent off the court. At net, I really liked the comfort of this racket. When I'm missing the sweet spot up at net and on the volleys, that I really felt stable, and I didn't feel any jarring sensations. On serve, I did find that I was missing my serves a little bit long at first because I think that maybe the higher launch angle and the added power. I did enjoy it, however. Overall, for me, this is the most enjoyable VCORE that I've hit to date, and it's really evening the playing field in my mind with the E-Zone.
I've put a lot of hours on this VCORE 100, hit it a ton, and I've been really enjoying the response. The big thing for me with this racket is it's got a softer, plusher response than I would expect from a VCORE. I really found like the ball was sitting on the strings for a long time. That gave me some nice access to spin, and also felt very connected to my targets. Like some of the other playtesters mentioned, you get a nice high launch out of this racket. So even though it has that softer, plusher feel, still getting good access to depth, good pace. My ball's clearing the net nice and high, and I'm getting plenty of spin to get it dipping inside the lines. I've hit also the 98 and the 95. I probably like the 95 the most, but I really like the forgiving nature of this 100, especially when I'm playing doubles, attacking the net and looking to dig out some tough low volleys. That extra few square inches up there in the hoop definitely helps out, and it does flare out noticeably at the 10 and 2 o'clock positions. That gives you good access to spin, nice high sweet spot for serves, and then cranking those heavy ground strokes with lots of spin. So fun playtest for me.
We strung up the Yonex VCORE 100 with 2 Yonex strings, Polytour Drive, and Polytour Pro at around 53 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please check us out at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.